quickly listen what KHALID YASIN, what he has to say. Just pay attention.
I find a problem with someone manufacturing lies and fabrications and dramatizations and mythologies with Jesus Christ, especially when Jesus Christ himself had nothing to do with the evidence that they use. Now let's keep it on point, because that's the issue. There's no tug of war here. There's no issue here of arguing, trying to cast aspersion upon Jesus or Christianity. Because Jesus, for us, was a Muslim.
This is KHALID YASIN, right? For those who know him, right? An American, I think, now based in Australia or so. So this is KHALID YASIN, right? You heard the first statement he made. I'm going to replay the statements, and we are going to assess the statement he made, right?
At the same token, I find a problem with someone manufacturing lies and fabrications.
So he says, at the same token, I find problems with somebody manufacturing lies and fabrications. So he finds problem with that. Somebody manufacturing lies and fabrications. This statement, it sounds familiar, right? Where we can find lies and fabrications. It sounds familiar, right? Okay, so let's go forward.
And dramatizations.
And then dramatizations. So you find lies, you find fabrications, and then you find dramatizations, right? In Ghana, we will say brofu. This is brofu. He's speaking brofu.
And mythologies.
And then mythologies, right? Mythologies, right? So we have lies, fabrications, dramatizations, and mythologies, right? This is KHALID YASIN. He has a problem with such things. Let's go.
With Jesus Christ.
With Jesus Christ. So all these lies, fabrications, and then dramatizations, and then mythologies has to do with Jesus Christ. He has a problem with that. When people are doing all these things around the story of Jesus.
Especially when Jesus Christ himself had nothing to do with the evidence that they use.
Especially when Jesus himself has nothing to do with the evidences that they use. Especially. Listen carefully. So let's take Prophet Jesus out of the equation and put Prophet Muhammad there. So especially when Prophet Muhammad has nothing to do with the lies, fabrications, dramatizations, mythologies, the evidences which they use. It sounds familiar, right? Just take Jesus out of the equation and put Prophet Muhammad there. Does it sound familiar? It's similar, right? Okay, so let's put Jesus back to the equation. Listen to him.
Now let's keep it on point, because that's the issue.
So let's keep it on point, because that is the issue. Let's keep it on point, right? It's important. Okay.
There's no tug of war here.
There is no tug of war here. So there is no two ways about it. There is no tug of war. So let's listen carefully. The same way he is talking about Jesus, we are going to reciprocate and then align it with Prophet Muhammad and see if logic accepts what the claim KHALID YASIN is saying.
There's no issue here of arguing, trying to cast aspersion.
So there's no issue here about trying to argue or trying to cast an aspersion. Listen.
Upon Jesus or Christianity.
On Jesus or Christianity. So there's no issue. There's no tug of war. There is no issue about trying to cast something on Christianity or Jesus, right? Oh, so same. Let's take Jesus out of the equation. And let's take Christianity out of the equation. So let's put Prophet Muhammad there and we put Islam there. So there is no tug of war. You understand? As to think we are trying to cast something on Prophet Muhammad or cast something on Muslims, right? Or Islam, right? Okay.
Because Jesus, for us, was a Muslim.
Same goes to Prophet Muhammad. So let's put Prophet Muhammad there. Prophet Muhammad for us was a Muslim. He was not a Sunni. He was not Shia. He was not Tijaniya. He was not Ahmadiyya, Qadiriya, Sufiya, Salafiya, Wahhabiyya, Ahmadiyya. Prophet Muhammad was none of the above. Just as Jesus was not a Christian, was not a Jew, we understand, was not a Sunni, was not a Shia. He was a Muslim, which is an Arabic word. When you Romanize it, it's Muslim. Bring it back to English, it means submitter. Jesus was only doing the will of God. Yes, Jesus didn't come to do his own will. He was only on earth to do the will of God. Understand that. That is what makes Jesus a Muslim, submitter to God. We are Muslims to God. So now, this is what KHALID YASIN said. If you examine what he said critically, I'm taking it back and repeat it once again so that it can make sense to you, right? Then I try to pinpoint to you how the sectarians are confused. I'm serious. Sectarians, anybody who belongs to a sector is confused, either physically or spiritually. Every sectarian. I'm not joking with your brains, right? So pay attention carefully. Every sectarian is confused, whether physically or spiritually. Okay, so
at the same token, I find a problem with someone manufacturing lies and fabrications and dramatizations and mythologies.
So here KHALID YASIN has a problem with somebody formulating what? Fabrications, lies, dramatizations, mythologies with who?
With Jesus Christ.
With Jesus Christ. In the same scenario, babashuaib, the correctional officer, I have problems, or I find problems with somebody who attributes lies, fabrications, dramatizations, and then what? Mythologies with what? With Prophet Muhammad. Same scenario, I have a problem. But he doesn't see that. This same man believes that Prophet Muhammad married a 6-year-old girl. He accepts that, right? And this same man upholds a book which contradicts the Quran. And he accepts that book over the Quran, which means he accepts lies and fabrications and dramatizations and mythologies over the Quran. And I'm going to prove to you. I'll show you the evidence why I'm putting this man on the screen.
Especially when Jesus Christ himself had nothing to do with the evidence that they used.
Especially when Prophet Muhammad himself has nothing to do with the evidences that you are using in Islam. Does he know Imam Bukhari? Does he know the books of Sahih Bukhari? Has he seen them with his eyes? Did he give you the authority to use it? No. Does he know Sahih Muslim? They are Persians. Remember, Imam Muslim and Imam Bukhari, they are not Arabs even. They never met the Prophet even. They are Persians. And so the evidences you are using from these fabrications, does the Prophet know about it? Does it have to do with the Prophet? Or you are just fooling yourselves? And when I just use such a word, you say that I'm insulting you. You are the biggest fool ever, I'll tell you. Because God says in Quran chapter 2, verse 130, وَمَنْ يَرْغَبُ عَنْ مِلَّةِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ إِلَّا مَنْ سَفِهَ نَفْسَهُ. Who will desire other than the creed of Abraham, if not one who fools himself? If you're fooling yourself, what do you become? A fool.
Now let's keep it on point because that's the issue.
So let's keep it on point because that's the issue. Just as we are going to keep it on point about Jesus, let's keep it on point about Prophet Muhammad.
There's no tug of war here.
There's no tug of war here.
There's no issue here of arguing, trying to cast aspersion upon Jesus or Christianity.
You heard him right.
Because Jesus, for us, was a Muslim.
Same goes with Prophet Muhammad. As Jesus was a Muslim, Prophet Muhammad was a Muslim. Quran chapter 27 verse 91. Prophet Muhammad himself said, وَأُمِرْتُ أَنْ أَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ, that I have been commanded to be of the Muslims. So Prophet Muhammad was a Muslim, right? A submitter to God alone. He was not a Shia or Sunni or Tijaniya. You are the ones fooling yourself with all the garbages you have formulated, right? If you are man enough, face babashuaib and prove to me where God says or Muhammad told you to be a Salafiyah, a Sunni, a Shia. If not, you are fooling yourselves. Then I don't know where you got these ideologies from, right? Okay, you are proudly telling the Christians Jesus is not a Christian. You are proudly telling the Christians Jesus was a Muslim. Why don't you proudly tell the Muslims again that Muhammad was not a Sunni? He was not a Shia. He was not Tijaniya. Why can't you accept that? If you are always quick to see other people's problems without actually addressing your problem first, then there's a problem. Then there's a big problem. Like the other day, somebody told me that they went to the hospital, right, to see a doctor. And the issue they went to the doctor for was about smoking. And guess what? The doctor said, that same doctor said he has to go for break. And he went out smoking. I'm serious. Look, the person went to see a doctor. And he went to see the doctor concerning smoking. Right? Concerning smoking. Now, he has problem with smoking. Now, this person has a problem with smoking, went to see a doctor because of the smoking. Now, immediately the doctor was done with this person. The doctor was going for break. He saw the doctor again smoking. Why will you not practice what you preach? So if you are telling somebody smoking is bad, and then you, the doctor, you are smoking, then what is wrong with you? What is wrong with your conscience? Are you okay? Are you normal? Or you are just abnormal? I'm going to pinpoint to you how they elevate the fabrications, the lies, the dramatization, the mythologies over the words of God. They rather venerate those books which the prophet has nothing to do with it, and these are alleged allegations alleged at the prophet, and they lie about the prophet, and then they try to act as if they are the ones who are the righteous ones. So now, Quran chapter 2 verse 44. Quran chapter 2 verse 44. God says, are you commanding the people to righteousness while forgetting yourselves? Right? While forgetting yourselves, and you recite the book, will you then not reason? Will you then not reason? Are you commanding the people to righteousness while forgetting yourselves, and you recite the book? Will you then not reason? So if you are rather telling people to be righteous, will you leave yourself out of the equation? Wouldn't you first set the example for people to follow? You are telling people, you are going around telling people, oh, sleeping early is good for your health. And then people will see you sitting up late. How can you be talking about things you don't practice yourself? Does it make sense? You understand? So if KHALID YASIN is quickly pointing to the Christians their issues concerning fabrications, concerning the evidences they are using that Prophet Muhammad, Jesus was not aware of. The question is, was Prophet Muhammad also aware of the evidences you, the Muslims of modern day, are using? Why can't you equate that same logic and see the confusion? And that is why I say sectarians are confused. So now let me show you why I said they are confused. I'm going to play the video. Now listen carefully.
Our Prophet Muhammad told us that there will be no children in paradise.
Now, this is my problem with the so-called modern day scholars. And this is where the foolish, ignorant ones will be listening to such people without evidence, without cross-checking, without cross-examination, and then they think these scholars are telling them the truth. They never bother to investigate whether these people are lying to them or not. You see this video, he is talking, he didn't give you the source of evidence. He has to lie with the name of the prophet. And this is how a lot of people in religions are dumb and foolish. Somebody will say, I'm insulting. Yes, you are a dumb person and foolish if you are offended, because a wise person will not be offended. I'm serious. A wise person knows he's not part of those I'm talking about. Right? You get my point. Now, a foolish and a dumb person will just venerate this kind of people and think they are the top scholars and they are telling you the truth and they are leading you to Jannah. Hello? Think twice. Now, listen carefully what KHALID YASIN said.
Our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told us that there will be no children in paradise.
Where did he say that? If you ask him right now, this is coming from the garbage books. And when I say garbage books, if you have been my audience for this while, you should know what garbage book mean, right? He is quoting from the garbage books. This is not Quranic statement. You don't find this garbage statement from the Quran. He is telling you there are not going to be any children in paradise. He said, the prophet said, and that is a liar. And this same person is having issues with Christians quoting books which has nothing to do with Jesus. He has problems with that. He calls it lies. He calls it fabrications. He calls it dramatization. He calls it mythology. He calls it evidences which is not supported by Jesus himself. Whilst forgetting that he being a Muslim, a mainstream Muslim, a sectarian Muslim, forgetting that what he is also upholding is not backed up by the prophet. The prophet never approved the garbage books they are using. But let's cross-check this guy.
But wait a minute. And that's because all the children, whether they die, whether they're killed, whether they starve by disease, on the day of judgment, no children will be judged because children in Islam are considered innocent.
You don't find Islam outside the book of God, right? So now listen what this guy is saying. He is saying in Islam, there will be no children in paradise, and that is a lie. And I'm going to give you a verse on the screen, and you see that he is lying. He said the prophet said. So he is trying to tell us the prophet is a liar. This man you see on the screen is trying to tell you that your prophet is a liar. Yeah, that's what he's telling you. Okay, let's continue.
So in paradise, the Prophet ﷺ told us that all the inhabitants of paradise will be 33 years old.
Now he's lying again by saying that the prophets told them that all the inhabitants of paradise will be 33 years of age. So meaning both men and women, children, everybody. So there will be no children in paradise. This is what KHALID YASIN is saying. I'm going to expose him big time and in a simple way. And to show you that these mushriks, they don't follow the book of God. They are only stuck up with their garbage books. I'm going to prove to you.
And they will never get any older.
They will never get any older. That's what he said. So everybody will be 33 years old. So no children. Okay. Now the verse, chapter 76, verse 19 is telling you and I that there will be immortal children in the paradise. Because God says the moment you enter paradise, you are not going to taste death again. You are not dying again. And God says, since you become immortal, you have immortal children in the paradise. Now, this is God speaking, and this is the verse here on the screen. وَيَتُوفُ عَلَيْهِمْ وِلْدَانٌ مُخَلَّدُونَ. And immortal children will circulate around them, or will be around them. When you see them, you will consider them as scattered pearls. This is God speaking. KHALID YASIN is telling you that the prophet said there will be no children in paradise. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, this call